So good morning again. Here we are at the aircraft. As you can see on the ramp, it's much noisier, much more activity. The aircraft we've been given this morning is a unique aircraft to Aer Lingus. We call it our Green Spirit aircraft. As you can see, the paint scheme is a little bit unusual. It's there to represent our Irish Rugby Team, a team we're very proud of, a team that play with great spirit, very similar to the Airline Aer Lingus, which operates with a great spirit. We all have green blood running through our veins. And on the tail of the aircraft, some of our rugby players, you can see Tommy Bowe, Rob Carney, and the two at the back that you'll see a little bit later on are Robbie Henshaw and Conor Murray. This is Echo Oscar, Delta Echo Oscar, and we have one other aircraft in the fleet that's painted in these colours. I'm just about to do my walk around now, so if you'd like to follow me, and we'll talk you through the few bits and pieces that we checked pre-flight. Not only do we check the aircraft with a walk around, so do our engineering staff. So it gets a minimum of 2 walk arounds before each departure. From where we are at the moment, we just want to have a general look at the aircraft to make sure everything is normal. For example, close to where the doors are, we want to make sure that there's no damage from steps, from air bridges, from other vehicles, which sometimes happens in a very busy environment like the aircraft. What's also very important is we have to check that our static ports, our angle of attack vanes are clear of ice, any obstruction. For example, in the past there have been industry-wide events where maybe a little bit of tape has been on the ports and caused blockages. These ports are giving us information for our instrumentation in the cockpit, like our airspeed, etc., our altitude, etc. Underneath the belly of the aircraft we have a variety of antennae. VHF, HF is up on the tail. We have our radomes at the back. Again, just make sure that all antennae are in good shape and attached to the aircraft. As we come to the nose wheel, very similar to your car, you're going to check that the tyres are in good shape, there's good depth on the tread, and there's no damage. We have a look at our oleo extension, and from this perspective here we can see all 3 oleos, and to make sure there's no imbalance between the oleos, which means that they're hydraulically pressurized. We make sure that we have no nose wheel steering pin, that all the hydraulic lines are clean and there's no leaks. We check that our lamps and bulbs are in good shape, there's no cracks or no extinguished bulbs. Our parking brake is set, and this will help us later on when we're checking the brake wear indicators on the main landing gear. So now we come to the front of the aircraft. Again, we check the general appearance of the radome. We make sure it's latched. We have pitot probes, we have TAT probes. And we're checking also at all stages around the aircraft for the potential for any bird strikes that may have occurred on the previous flight. It looks clean so far. We have some more pitot probes here, another angle of attack probe, and we have more static probes. Again, around the door area, we're checking for damage, for possibly potential catering trucks that may have caused any damage. It looks good at the moment. Our avionics hatch, we have a security seal here to indicate that it hasn't been tampered with for obvious reasons. As we move along, we have a nice view of the wing here, the leading edge and all the slats, again for bird strikes or any damage. As we approach the engine core, we'll observe all the blades for any bird strike damage, any damage at all. Everything looks good. In the winter we will be checking for fan blade icing as well. In the winter we can check for underwing icing as well. This is our refueling panel. We ordered 12.7 on the fuel, We have 12.7 and it's evenly distributed. What's interesting about this panel is it's red, and when it's open, it's quite obvious that it's open, and it's designed that way so someone will spot it. Even if someone doesn't spot that it's open, it's hinged in this direction, so at high speed it will naturally close, which is a good feature. A lot of the airplane is designed ergonomically like that, in a fail-safe fashion. So the main landing gear, okay, we're going to check all the lines for any sign of leak, no signs of leak. We're going to check the tires for depth and wear. Our parking brake is set, so we can check the brake wear indicators here, and we have plenty of brakes left. We can go all the way flush with these, and the same at the back. And we have good depth to all our brakes. Tires are in good shape also. Our engineering department do a really good job of maintaining these aircraft to a very high standard. So at the back of the engine, if we can squat down and make sure we've no leaks from the drain mast. And again, just a good look at the engine core and the back of the engine to make sure that we've no ingestion of birds, and in the winter time, no icing. As we proceed along the back, we'll have a look at the trailing edge of the wing, all the static ports. We'll have a look at the flaps, the ailerons, and we're having a look at the nav lights. Let's make sure they're switched on. And again, just having a quick look at the winglets to make sure that there's no damage from a previous flight. Underneath here we can see the fuel tank through this aperture here to make sure it's where it should be. We can see a white line in there to indicate that the fuel tank is exactly located where it should be. So as I was mentioning earlier on, you didn't see Rob Carney and Tommy Bowe, Robbie Henshaw and Conor Murray on both sides of the aircraft. Again, we're looking around the cargo door area for damage, the bulk door for damage, and we have the outflow valve here for our pressurization system. Again, checking for damage on the aft door. We're having a look at the tailplane, all the static ports, and we're having a look at the drain area from the APU. We currently have the APU running, so that's that noise in the background. The navigating light at the back is working, and up here we can see the discharge bottle for the extinguisher has not discharged for the APU, so it's intact, and we can see that by a red indicator there just underneath the tailplane. We're looking at the elevator and the stabilizer, and we're looking at the stabilizer in the 0 position. Just checking that all the hydraulic panels are closed and latched. And then we look at the other main landing gear, as on the other side. Brake wear indicators, hydraulic lines, any leaks. Tread depth is very good, no damage to the tires, and we have no landing gear collars fitted. And the port navigating light is working. So there you have it, Green Spirit is ready to go. All that's left for us to do is to program our FMGS system, do a few pre-flight checks in the cockpit, start her up and let's get going.